All right, guys. So over the weekend, we had yet another round of back and forth tit for tat attacks between the United States and Iran, as it seems like this alleged memorandum of understanding, ceasefire, framework agreement might be on the verge of total collapse. So I got a lot of important updates that we're going to get to here. Of course, off the top, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to get around YouTube's algorithm if you want to help support the channel. Now, with that being said, starting off on sort of Thursday, Friday, late last week, we had multiple reports of ships that were trying to transit through the Strait of Hormuz without coordinating with Iran coming under attack. So this was just one example here from the Kobeisi letter. Iran allegedly attacked a Singapore-flagged cargo ship in the Strait of Hormuz. The attack took place near the coast of Oman after the Iranian Navy warned ships not to use routes through the Strait of Hormuz that have not obtained Iranian approval. So this is sort of the main flashpoint of why the U.S. and Iran started bombing each other over the weekend is because there's still some dispute over who actually controls the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is saying that they have full sovereignty and control over the strait and they have the right to impose fees and direct ships safely through the passage. The U.S., the Trump administration, is insisting that the Strait of Hormuz is just completely free and open, which, you can say that, but it doesn't make it the reality of the actual situation on the ground. And so, you have Iran allegedly launching attacks against ships that are trying to pass through without their approval, and then the U.S. responds to that by bombing Iran. So here we had Donald Trump saying that the United States aircraft just struck Iranian missile and drone storage locations and coastal radar sites for violating the ceasefire agreement again. It is
Shalom, call halal Yahweh Shabbat Shalom, call halal Yahweh Shabbat Shalom, Kakadash. Double honor to the other apostles and other bishops of great millstone, even the elders that came before them, and taught us his truth. Shabbat Shalom, and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and the sincerity, the hopeful tabernacle of David. I'm the elder Yahshua, back with the WW3 Daily update. Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, and salutations to you all. Just a little quick update. This is 15 minutes ago. So this is hot off the press. Is this what Trump just posted? U.S. aircraft just struck Iranian missile and drone storage locations and coastal radar sites for violating ceasefire agreement again. So this is just like right now. It's very possible that they will never learn. There may come a point when we are no longer able to be reasonable and will be forced to militarily complete the job that we very successfully started. If that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist. He's right back to rumors and threats, which is tomorrow's update. Anyway, let's play a little more of this.
Possible that they will never learn. By the way, the U.S. has been violating the ceasefire agreement over and over again, but he says there may come a point when we are no longer able to be reasonable and will be forced to militarily complete the job that we very successfully started. But
Talking about nuclear weapons.
Okay, he continues. He says, if that happens, the Islamic Republic of Iran will no longer exist. So another sort of like genocidal wipe out the entirety of the Iranian society threat there at the end. But, again, he says we're going to finish the job militarily that we already very successfully started at the same time that he's telling the American people that the job has already been completed, and that's why we're going to the table and negotiating this deal with Iran. I thought it was because we won the war, right? Iran has been completely militarily decimated, but somehow at the same time, every couple of days, we got to go back and bomb their missile and drone storage locations and their coastal radar sites. I mean, again, all of this is a massive contradiction, and the reality of the situation is that Trump knows he has no viable military options on the table that would improve the situation for him. It would only make it worse. I mean, keep in mind, it was only a couple of weeks ago when he was announcing the memorandum of understanding with Iran that he literally said that we were weeks away from global economic bedlam, that the U.S. was weeks away from tapping out our reserves of oil. So it's like, we know that you're backed into a corner. There's nothing militarily that you can do. You can bomb them a couple more times. It's not going to improve the situation or the cards that you have, to play at the table right now. It's not going to improve anything. So what exactly is the threat that's being made here, right? We continue because after that, we also had Iran responding. So they struck back. You had 8 U.S. sites in Kuwait and Bahrain that the IRGC was claiming that it struck. Again, 8 U.S. military sites in Kuwait and Bahrain with ballistic missiles and drones overnight in retaliation for U.S. attacks on the Iranian coastal facilities near Sirik and Keshem Island. So, I mean, again, it's like, where exactly are we getting with any of this?
Going tit for tat, right? What did I want to get? This peace and safety. What's in the middle of them hitting each other? The MOU, right? Let's get that peace. First Thessalonians 5:3 in the NIV. While people are saying peace and safety, destruction will come on them. Suddenly, as labor pains on a pregnant woman, they will not escape. So I believe that this is a war strategy, peace and safety, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're showing us. Right? Oh, there's a ceasefire. There's an MOU. There's a deal, right? But as soon as we sign that thing, then here comes that sudden destruction.
The Iranians attack a ship. The U.S. bombs Iran. Iran bombs U.S. Military assets throughout the region, and it stalls out the deal. Now, obviously, we had sort of this back and forth that took place. This threw a massive wrench in talks that were supposed to be coming up. But right in time for the markets to be opening, we had classic Barack Ravid coming in here and giving us this headline: U.S. and Iran agree to halt the strikes and
There's your peace and safety. Okay. And this is how this whatever debacle is being waged at the moment before they get real serious about war. Right now, they're trying to enrich themselves using this uh, wagging a dog or something, whatever they call themselves doing, because this ain't no war. But in a minute, they're about to, forego the formalities and get to using some of this new shit that we haven't even seen yet.
meet later this week, according to an unnamed U.S. Official. So again, right in time for the markets to open this morning, we had Barack Ravid coming in and saying, no, 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 the fighting is done for now, and progress is being made. I mean, I literally can't tell you guys how many.
1330 or 313 is 133, which is 1/3 the elected measure.
Times we've had almost this exact same kind of headline from Barack Ravid specifically in Axios throughout the last couple of months. I mean, probably dozens at this point, where it's the same exact cycle being repeated. Now, interestingly, he does say down in this article that the talks that were already planned for tomorrow were supposed to happen in Switzerland, and they were supposed to center on Iran's nuclear program, right? Now, after this escalation in the U.S. bombing of Iran and vice versa, a source that he has here is claiming that they're now going to have talks in Doha, right, in Qatar, and that the new item that they're discussing is on the Strait of Hormuz. So we went from planned talks in Switzerland on Tuesday to discuss Iran's nuclear program to now that's been reverted to a meeting in Qatar, allegedly, that might or might not actually even be happening, by the way, but a meeting in Qatar that's going to center around the Strait of Hormuz. So it's like,
And if it does happen, immediately after somebody's going to get hit.
going backwards in this negotiating process. Like we're not even at base level one at this point. It seems like now, as I was saying, this meeting might not even happen in the first place because we have new claims here from Iran that they're rejecting that Trump claimed that Iran requested a meeting. They're saying no, we didn't request a meeting. This is according to Professor Morandi. He said the request came from the Trump regime, but Iran will not be sending a delegation to such a meeting. Now, we also had Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson who said no negotiation meetings at any level with the American side are scheduled in the coming days, and that U.S. officials, including Witkoff and Kushner, are traveling to Qatar tomorrow, and it's unrelated to the Iranian delegation's trip. So they're sending a delegation to Qatar. Witkoff and Kushner are also going to Qatar, but they're not doing a direct meeting with each other or maybe tangentially meeting about other things unrelated to this. Like, again, it's unclear to me exactly what's going on here, what sort of the posturing is from both sides. And
Offshore land deals. So they could set up resorts. The Gaza resort. Right? Anyway, whatever they call themselves doing is going to end in World War III. Negotiations are going to break down. It's going to stop being about land grabs and future uh, resorts, if you will. Now it's going to be about every man for himself, and we're nuking each other. Mutually assured destruction. Revelation 11 and 14. How do we know? The second woe has passed. Behold, the third woe is coming shortly. We're very close to World War III being in full-fledged glory. So prepare yourself and stay ready. With that, we pray that you like the right fight, your brothers and sisters.